Hello Bitsbrood! We are back with the latest edition of White Dwarf. This is the March edition, which they are now calling issue 452. So on the front cover we have got Magnus the Red and the Thousand Suns. Really beautiful cover today actually. I'm loving that. So let's have a look what we've got. On the front there is a note here about basically they're changing the names of the issues to not the month but actually just the number, which yeah, that's one way of doing it I suppose. So yeah, we're on, what did I say it was, 452 now, but yeah, that's they've explained that. They've been doing that since January, so alright, let's have a look what we've got. The contents page. All of the models that have been sent in on this page, and there's some quite cool ones here. I'm enjoying this sort of colourful scheme over here. Pretty colourful scheme there as well for your Space Marine Captain. I like that very much. Well done, Phil Lewis. And some more models that have been sent in here as well. So we've got the model of the month, which is looking really good. That is by Cameron. So well done, Cameron. And onto Wheels of Warhammer. So Wheels of Warhammer looking to the background of Age of Sigmar and 40k as well. So in this instalment, Jordan Green talks about his dudes. In this case, Damorka Gorka Mad Lads. Definitely could have tripped over that word. I think I just about managed it. So he's talking about that. And on to 40k. So talking about a short story, some painting guides, new rules, and an Adeptus Custodes army. Got Echoes of the Warp here. The regular column about rules, tactics, etc. So games developer Elliot Harmer is talking about the borders and bridges between matched play and narrative play games. So there's a bit about that in Echoes from the Warp. And onto Index Astartes. And there's a little bit more on that over the next few pages. So, here we've got some new rules and stratagems, which you might find quite interesting. And then we're moving on to Paint Splatter, which is one of my favourite sections of White Dwarf, I have to say. So they're doing some Space Wolves. So got Battle Ready and Parade Ready. Obviously there's a lot more detail in your parade stuff. And they're showing just step by step how you do that. So Space Wolves, very cool. Oh, okay, so this is quite cool. This is a particular paint splatter on contrast paints, which is nice. I quite like that. I use contrast paints quite a lot. They're quite quick and easy to use. And on to Sons of the Wolf. This is a model gallery. So you've read all about Primaris Space Marines joining the ranks of Space Wolves. Now you get to see a load of painted examples. So you've got loads of very cool models there, painted in incredible detail. A bit more about that. And onto Galactic WAG zones, they've called that. So onto the Orc Mech Worlds, if I can talk. It's quite cool. All about the orcs taking over. A bit more on conversions. So orcs are constantly looting, rebuilding and upgrading their war gear and vehicles. So what better way to represent this than with some cunning conversions? So there's a few different examples of conversions there. And I'm really liking that sort of rusted yellow. That's come out beautifully. Very nice. Some more sort of rusty yellow schemes, which is quite cool. Obviously getting that worn effect is part of the whole thing. So bit more on every self-respecting orc city needs a workshop where the clan's mechs can be disassembled, abandoned, so it can disassemble abandoned war machines, build new trucks and invent new guns. So this is a workshop built by Adam Cooper, so very cool. I mean, can't imagine how much time that took to make. It's pretty incredible. And on to Kill Team. New rules, a mysterious menace. So this is a bit about Kill Team, how to use Archivist. Looks quite interesting. A bit on alien manipulators. And onto Army Showcase. So we've got Talons of the Emperor. The Adeptus Custodes are the right hand of the Emperor, the Sisters of Silence his left. Between them, the Guard of the Imperium of Man against the galaxy's darkest threats. Behold now the incredible Talons of Emperor army painted by Jason Lee. That is a very impressive army. I quite like the winter scheme. You don't see all that much of that, which is nice. So there's a bit more on that. Those bases are looking really cool. A bit more on how he has painted those with some details of the paints up there. And some more on the Sisters of Silence and the Dreadnoughts. And onto fiction, Journey's End, about the Adeptus Custodes tasked with bringing Primaris Space Marines to the scattered Space Marine chapters. So this is all about that. So we've got a bit of fiction over the next few pages. And on to Age of Sigmar. So we're moving on to a new campaign, a battle report, and a tale of 4 warlords. So rules of engagement. Bit more from Jarvis Johnson. Some about settlements. Bit more on that. This looks like quite a cool thing to explore, about settlements. Structure chart. And onto the campaign. Land of Dead Heroes. So this is all on innumerable underworlds await the denizens of the mortal realms. So this is all about that, about the underworld, a bit more on that campaign stuff. I apologise for my pronunciation on this issue. There have been some incredibly tricky words for me to say quickly. Right, a bit more on the campaigns, army roster cards. This is all about playing a Halost campaign. still a bit more of that around the battle. This is all on the campaign rules. And onto A Tale of Four Warlords, which is a regular section in the White Dwarf. The Stormvault Warlords. So the Shyish, all about that. Some really incredible models here as well. You got a bunch of squigs. So this is displaying their different armies as well. Through pox and plague, decay and despair. All about Nurgle. Looking awesome. Of course, the Great Unclean One has to be featured there. A bit more about Idoneth Deepkin with Steve Wren. One of my favourite armies for sure. Gloomspite Gits. Look at all those squigs. It's just incredible. And so they are sending the 4 mighty warlords, send their armies to claim the prize. So they're all competing. There's a bit more about that battle report. Got all that, all to do with this battle. And you can read a little bit more on that, of course. Right, and moving on to Warcry. So there's some new rules for what looks like another campaign type thing, which is quite cool. We've been enjoying Warcry here. Moving on to Beastgrave, glory points. This time Dave Sanders is talking about different ways to play Beastgrave. And he goes into a bit on that. Moving on to new rules and Blackstone Fortress. Alien intelligence. So this is about all about Blackstone Fortress. To do with the Tinkerer, which is quite a cool miniature. I really enjoy seeing that pop up. That's really awesome. A bit more on the Tinkerer's invention. And on to Adeptus Titanicus for his heresy. So here we present 2 new narrative missions and provide a few ideas for creating scenarios of your own. So there's a bit of narrative on there. And on to Black Library, an interview. So this month we're joined in Interview Corner by Black Library author and former White Dwarfer Graham McNeil. So Graham chats about his time at the Games Workshop, his move to writing novels, and his latest work, Sons of Selena. Talking all about that. And on to some fiction. So this is Faith and Fire by James Swallow. So that's that section. There's quite a bit of that actually. So if you're into your fiction, there's a lot to get your teeth into over the next few pages. And finally onto Inside the Studio. As usual, show you what is going on in there and what they've been painting up. So Robin Coude's been working on warriors in his Hallowed Knights Stormhost. Lord Celestiant. What's down here? We've got Blood Bowl. Of course, the Idoneth Deepkin over here. and some Nurgle. Ooh. And a battle report extra, writing the battle plan. So this is actually Sam Pearson talking about the battle plan he wrote for this month's battle report. He shared the Squigapalooza War Scrolls that he created for Ben's converted models, so it's a bit on that. A bit more on the Squigapalooza, which is really cool. A very cool conversion, very creative. So there's some bits on that, and more on some squigs. And that's how they've ended the issue this month, which is an interesting way to end it, I think, but very cool. Why not end on some squigs? So yeah, that's all we've got for March edition 452. So we'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
If you enjoyed this video, then please feel free to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. You can also click that bell icon to be notified when a new video has gone live on this channel. On the screen now are 2 more videos that you may wish to check out, and a link to our Patreon page also. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.